Hello everyone, welcome to the lecture on globalization and new media. This lecture is part of your paper on media and globalization. This lecture will help you in understanding about the globalization and its relationship with new media. We have witnessed that the emergence of new technologies, that is ICT, has opened doors for the exchange of ideas, services and products like never before. Such exchanges trigger a lot of innovations which lead to enhanced economic growth. These new technologies have brought changes in every industry. They are relooking and reinventing various processes like production, resource management, marketing, and is aligning itself to the rules of the digital world. Media industry too has undergone sea change through the digital transformation process. Each and every function of a media organization is affected by these new technologies in recent years. The impact on content development and its dissemination has changed what people's expectations are from media products and their consumption. With the emergence of new media, anyone can create and disseminate messages. It has democratized the media space. No longer few people have control over what needs to be created and how it needs to be disseminated. People are not just passive receivers of messages. They are actively participating in exchange of ideas, services and products. But first, it is important to understand the concept of globalization. And what does new media mean? New media and globalization. There have been different approaches to globalization. To put it in a very simple way, the explanation of globalization is based on the main idea that the world around us is changing in ways that had not been foreseen by earlier theories or approaches. Many consider technological advancements across the world as a force that has played an important role in bringing out these changes. Omhe said in 1995 that new media are associated with far more cataclysmic changes in actually enabling the development of a truly global system or society or culture, thereby leading to fundamental changes in the world organization. Whereas Seapera raises a very valid question regarding the connection between the new media and globalization. The question is whether new media and new technologies enable globalization, or was it globalization that led to the rise of the internet and other new media? Before we explore this, let us try to understand the concept of new media itself. Understanding new media. There are a number of terms which are used interchangeably, like new media, information and communication technologies, digital media, online media, multimedia, convergence media, and so on. There are some overlaps, but the meaning varies with the context. Let us explore the meanings of these terms. Information and communication technology is an umbrella term that includes the software as well as hardware devices to store and disseminate information. It includes information capturing devices, storage devices, processing devices, as well as information disseminating devices. Digital media. What makes digital media different from analog is that in digital, information is broken into a sequence of numbers. This information could be any image, video, data text, infographic, picture. Process breaks down all information. This information then travels through networks, and after reaching its destination, it is again put together in its original form. Digital media means any information that has been encoded through digital compression. Such encoded content then can easily be manipulated, distributed and rendered, that is played by computers. Such information is easily transmitted over computer networks. The third term that we'd understand is new media. New media is essentially a digital media, but it is interactive and two-way. as opposed to the traditional media which was based on one-way communication. The mode of dissemination of content is the internet. We'll understand multimedia. Multimedia means combination of various media formats to tell a story. These media formats can be text, sound, graphics, maps, images, and so on. For example, a story map or a timeline that includes text, videos, audios, and graphics to tell a story. The above mentioned terms are deeply linked and thus are difficult to distinguish between. The significance of limiting this definition is largely contextual. While the information and communication technology encompasses everything from hardware to software and also includes dissemination of information, the focus is on what makes any information digital in the digital media definition. In new media, stress is on how the digital media is being used with interaction and two-way communication as its important feature. Multimedia, however, is the combination of two or more techniques, which is easily possible only when the information is available in the digital format. While there is an overlapping basis for these, however, each of these terms have some distinct feature. For this lecture, the term ICTs will be used. That includes new technologies, new media, online platforms, social media, new digital tools, and the new ways of packaging and disseminating information, all in the context of globalization. Growth of new media in India. India is going through a digital revolution. The amount of growth which India has seen in terms of internet penetration is unprecedented. India has become the second largest country in the world in terms of internet users, with 462 million connected with the internet after China. The penetration at present is 34.8% according to the Internet Live Stats website. The government's Digital India program, which has been launched by the Department of Electronics and Information Technology, Ministry of Communications and Information Technology, Government of India, has given a fillip to digital media in India. All the e-initiatives by the Government of India revolve around the following three visions. First, digital infrastructure as a core utility for every citizen of India. Second, governance and services on demand. And third, digital empowerment of citizens. All the digital initiatives to fulfill the above mentioned visions will contribute significantly in strengthening digital media in India. While it has already contributed in increasing the number of internet users in India, development of digital infrastructure will also increase the internet penetration, which is quite low as compared to other countries. India has also seen tremendous growth in mobile use, both for data as well as voice. India currently has 500 million unique subscribers, but it took us 20 years to reach this mark. With this, India has become one of the largest mobile markets in the world. This trend encouraged people in the media industry to take media mobile apps seriously. Number of media houses have created their own apps so that they can connect with those 500 million subscribers. Also, because of the popularity of platforms like WhatsApp and Facebook, there is a need to repurpose content for those who are consuming media messages using the above mentioned platforms. Media content creation, access, and consumption have gone through enormous changes in the second decade of the 21st century, globally as well as in India. This shift would be more dramatic over the next 5 years by the end of 2020. Three main factors responsible for this trend are: first, technology and internet access, especially fast mobile data and broadband. Second, gadgets, especially smartphones and streaming media devices. Third, the app ecosystem. The growth in digital advertising in 2015 is maximum. that is 38.2% as compared to 2014. 60 billion was spent on digital advertising in 2015 alone. The reason for this massive growth is the increase in internet user base, which includes mobile internet users. India has seen unparalleled growth when it comes to the number of internet users in the country in the past few years. This means opportunities for the people to connect with the world. This connectivity means enhanced cultural and economic exchanges and collaborations. Let us now learn a little about globalization. Now we will learn about various theoretical views held by scholars on globalization. Technological developments and media is spreading across the world. When it comes to message dissemination, there are no boundaries. What is happening in Arab countries can be seen and heard anywhere in the world. Traditional media as well as new media is connecting the world, and many contemporary problems like global warming, unemployment, health, human rights are being discussed as a global problem rather than a problem concerning a specific nation. The central feature of the idea of globalization is that many contemporary problems cannot be adequately studied at the level of nation states, that is, in terms of each country and its inner national relations, but instead need to be seen in terms of global processes. According to many experts, the idea of nation state is in danger because of globalization, which is triggered by the global forces like multinational companies, emergence of global culture and beliefs, and global economic institutions. Arjun Appadurai in 1996 argued that the pivotal role in global culture is allocated to the media and migration, as they represent movement of images and movement of people. He also includes the flow of ideas, technologies, and finance, and argues that together they form the new landscape of globalization, that is, ethnoscapes, mediascape, ideascapes, technoscapes, and financescapes, referring to the movement of people, media images, ideas, technologies, and money, respectively, all create a new kind of global world. Technology is often quoted as an important factor for globalization, which has brought significant changes in the society. All the spheres have been significantly affected by new technologies. However, the question remains whether technological developments led to globalization or globalization is responsible for the technological innovations. Following theories can help us in understanding this. Technological determinism and network societies. The term technological determinism was coined by Thorstein Veblen, and this theory revolves around the proposition that a society's technology drives the development of its social structure and cultural values. The theory poses a question about the degree to which human activities and thought is influenced by technological factors. Technology, according to this theory, is viewed as a driving force for culture. This theory is in line with Karl Marx's belief that technological innovations have great influence on culture, politics, and economy and change the way we function in a society. For instance, the technological revolutions in media and communication have influenced the media industry as well as society as a whole and changed the way we consume media messages. A huge difference can be seen in the way our parents and grandparents used to consume media messages as compared to us. Whether it was radio or television, consuming media messages till a few years back used to be a social activity. When radio and TV were at a nascent stage, The privileged few owned radio and television sets. People used to get together at someone's place to watch or listen to popular programs. It used to be community viewing, and the programs like Hum Log in 1984 and Ramayan in 1986 or Bunyad in the same year and Mahabharat in 1988 did bring people together. When TV and radio became part of individual houses, the community viewing was replaced by family viewing. Programs on radio and TV became gathering point for families. This collective activity in some households gradually became isolated and individualized, primarily because of the availability of more than one TV and radio sets in a household, and also because of the availability of more channels and programs. This means watching or listening to the programs of one's own interest rather than collectively selected ones, which suited the entertainment or information needs of all the family members regardless of their age and interests. Now, one could surf channels and tune into different frequencies to watch or listen to their favorite program. This trend amplified with the emergence of multiple screens, especially with the advent of handheld screens in the form of smartphones. Availability of internet-enabled smartphones and laptops not only means every individual has access to the medium, but it also means that they have access to every medium. As on the internet, every medium resides next to each other. This led to the emergence of another trend, that of media hopping. The reason for this trend is the availability of various media formats on one device, and also people's need to consume media messages differently. Many of us nowadays, in the process of obtaining information and entertainment, move from one medium to another. This movement from one medium to another in search of relevant and good content is termed as media hopping. The concept is similar to channel surfing, which is also known as channel hopping and channel zapping. This term, however, is associated with television or radio, as viewers have hundreds of TV channels or radio frequencies. They can scan them quickly and frequently to find something interesting. While in media surfing, the movement is within the medium. In media hopping, the movement is complex, as it is from one medium to another, and also from one content to another within a specific medium. Technological innovations in media and communications have not only changed the kind of content which is being created, the way the content is created, but also the way it is consumed world over. The shift from community viewing to family viewing to individualized consumption of media messages shows how technology impacts social structure and cultural values. Let us now move on to the concept of network societies. While technological determinism emphasizes the fact that technology plays a very important role in the development of society and has an impact on its cultural values too, other researchers are of the view that it is not technology that shapes society, but technology itself is being shaped by the society. It is the people's requirement and interests that shape technology. According to Manuel Castells, the network society is a society that is based on networks, and these networks are managed by information and communication technologies. In a network, nodes are the points where most of the knowledge is accumulated. This knowledge is processed and distributed through the networks. Flow of knowledge from one node to another is through the network. This network is open and keeps evolving when different nodes are added or deleted. According to Castells, more than nodes, the power lies in the networks. Some networks, such as that of financial capital, are global in scale. Such networks contribute to the network economy. Similarly, social networks that are created by various social networking websites such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram are contributing to the new social structure. Impact of new media on globalization. We have discussed the new media and globalization. Let us now focus on the impact of new media on globalization. While the technological determinism focuses on how technology impacts society and cultural values, the network society, on the other hand, focuses on the power of networks and its impact on politics, economy, and culture. Globalization is a dynamic process which introduces changes in social organizations, and the outcome of this process is a new kind of society which can be understood as a network society. The process of globalization is not determined but enabled by the new media and technologies. Castells further says that globalization is not only the increase in interconnectedness in the world but also includes changes in the following spheres: economy and works, redistribution of power, reorganization of nation states, and rise of cultural identities. Amidst the debate that whether the technology is responsible for globalization or is it globalization that led to the emergence of new technologies, Crenoy and Castell's arguments are placed in between the categories of skeptics and transformationalists. According to them, new technologies were only the medium of globalization. The actual source of globalization is the process of capitalist restructuring in 1970s. The new regulatory regimes that emerged, including the doctrines of deregulation, liberalization, and privatization, were not due to technologies but due to decisive actions by states and corporations, which incidentally are the main actors within political organization of modernity. Conclusion. We shall now sum up what we have learned in this lecture. In the present lecture, we learned about the relationship between globalization and new media. To understand the relationship between the two, first we understood the concept of globalization and what does the term new media exactly mean. We went on to understand globalization and the role new media played in enabling the development of global systems and network society. We have learned about the new media and how different terms are used interchangeably to define this phenomenon. Similarly, globalization is also defined differently by different experts and theorists. Works of experts like Eugenia Siepera and Arjun Appadurai were discussed as they throw light on the relationship between globalization and media. Manuel Castells' work on new kind of society, that is a network society, helped in understanding that the new technology was not the cause of globalization. It was just the medium of globalization. For more details, please read the e-text and attempt all the questions given in the end. For more information, please refer to the extended reading list given with the e-text. Thank you.